Welcome to another video, my free thinkers. Raymond here. Today's video, I'll be counting down 5 consequences you could potentially be facing if you participate in hookup culture and dating apps. So stick around to see which one's number 1, plus 3 tips I have for you if you're struggling with dating apps and hookup culture. Today I'll be talking about 2 apps, particularly in the dating world, Tinder and Tinder's gay sister, Grindr. So to start off with Tinder and Grindr, basically both of these are the most popular dating apps for straight and gay communities. I thought it would be best if I offered my personal and professional opinion on these 2 apps, as well as my tips on how to get through them if you're struggling with them, if you're having issues with them, and if you're trying to seek out other alternatives. First off, to start, both apps require the participant to forgo their authenticity. You can't be who you really are. You come as someone that you're thinking someone wants you to be. And that's never a good start for any type of relationship. That's never a good start for any type of foundation or bonding or connection when you're portraying someone that you're really not. So both apps require people to be something that they're not, portray a different persona, and forgo their authenticity. Therefore, real need, or their deeper need, to connect and connect to someone that they're looking to beyond a sexual need, as these apps were primarily presented as dating apps, but they are obviously hookup apps and started the new trend a few years ago, Netflix and chill. So that's one of the first things that really affects someone's self-esteem and self-worth, by pretending to be someone else that they're not. And when you do that, you're putting these expectations out there for someone to like you, and even when they don't like what you've put out, you're now suffering from that lack of validation. To think that they aren't enough, to think that they aren't good enough, to think that they aren't worthy enough. And I'm here to tell you, you are worthy enough, you are good enough, you are great enough, you deserve better. If you're getting any value from this, more content like this interests you, like, share, and subscribe, and put an I subscribe in the comment box. I'll be sure to reach out to as many of you as I can. I have friends of mine that are girls and guys that are on Tinder, and speaking from girls, their experience, they've told me that they really don't date anymore. They can't date anymore because of these apps, and they started to leave these apps in search of dating and be able to meet someone. The same for the guys. The guys I've spoken with feel the same way, but for some reason there's this double standard where women think guys don't suffer from hookup culture or dating apps too. Well, in fact, they actually do. Men actually are on dating apps more so, and are looking to hook up, obviously, more so than women are, but women have now left the apps in search of actually dating. They've tried the hookup, they've seen that it doesn't work for them. Some of them it does work for, but they leave feeling dissatisfied. Some of my friends told me partially satisfied, and even regret. And that plays on your self-esteem, that plays on your self-worth, that plays on your self-respect. And on the men's side, a lot of my friends that use Tinder, they've said that they feel like a piece of meat, or women have said that as well, but men say they feel like a piece of meat, and they feel that they can't connect. They actually want to go on some dates, and this isn't all men. I'm pretty sure they probably have other alternatives, but from the friends that I've spoken to. And then in my experience, I feel that they're both kind of telling the truth. You come out feeling like you want to be connecting with someone, meeting someone, dating someone, getting to know someone, and all they're looking for is sex, and all they're looking at is an opportunity to have sex. They're looking for entertainment. You're looking for a bond. They're looking for entertainment. You're looking to be focused. They're looking for a distraction. You're looking to really try to get some value, and they're just looking for an opportunity. And that's another issue, and it can play on your mental health inevitably. Both sides of male and female on Tinder have explained to me through my experience and my just opinions from what they've told me, that they're trading what they really need and what they really want and truly desire for transactional sex, for transactional opportunity or attention or validation. And that's baggage. And you don't want to carry that on with you, because it's easy for people to take advantage of you if they see that you don't value yourself. And when you value yourself, you don't put yourself in these types of situations. And we've all been there, I've been there, and you learn from these experiences. And the women have told me on this side that they've learned from these experiences, and so have the men. But a couple of them still go back to the app after taking a break or two. So it's habitual, it becomes a habit, and you don't want that to be going on in your life and going on, and you're not meeting people. You're having all of these meaningless relationships. So it ends up making you trade what you really want, what you need deep inside, or what you're looking for to have inside, for transactions. And that never comes out to be a good connection or a relationship that will truly develop into something meaningful. Both apps, gay, Grindr, straight, Tinder, are all influenced by body image. And this is what's going on in all social media apps, but especially in a dating / hookup, type of, media app, where body image is everything. You have to look a certain way. People want you to be a certain way. You have to mark this checklist. You have to be this height. You have to be this tall. You have to be this weight. You have to be this size. You have to have this kind of hair. All of these different elements that are coming into play, it's like a menu now. And if you don't check off or meet all the requirements or for the recipe or the ingredients, then you don't meet the criteria. So that also plays on people's self-body image, how they feel about themselves. Some people develop body dysmorphia, and they start losing weight by anorexia or binging and purging, bulimia, all types of things, pills. They resort to all types of things just for this external validation. And that's really where it comes from, is that these types of apps encourage body image to an unrealistic level. And it can only be achieved through surgeries, photoshops, etc. This leaves people feeling conscious about their bodies, and it makes people feel like they can't get a date or even get a hookup if they don't look a certain way. And the things that people go through to achieve these looks just for a hookup are fascinating to me and interesting to me, and should be to you. And you should be looking at yourself, because we've all been there, and we've all wanted someone to like us for something that we weren't, or we all wanted someone to like us and we tried to be something that we weren't. I've done it when I was younger. I learned that never works, that never comes out to play. And when you do it for a transaction for sex, then you start to feel self-regret. You start to feel your self-worth is starting to deteriorate. And because these apps are focused around body image, people start to get things. And get these things and they get this validation, but it's only temporary. And then they fall right back into the trap. And that's where the mental issue starts to develop, and the stress and the anxiety. And being on these apps can also keep you from productivity. You can't live your own life. You're in a constant state of perpetual looking. And that's never a good state to be. You should be worried about yourself. You should be worried about your self-care. You should be trying to eat right, get enough sleep, exercise every day, and make sure that you're not on these apps looking for external validation. Validate yourself through these things, and you'd be better off. Moving on to Grindr, Tinder's gay sister. Grindr's a little bit different. It is compared to Tinder as the gay app because it's the most popular one in the gay community, and they have a lot of similarities, but the gay community can be a little more intense in their sense of checklist and menu and what they want and what they don't want and what they don't like. It can become a lot more trivial and even demeaning, where they're insulting. There's all types of banter and blocks, all types of explicit profanity words, you name it. This site, from my friends and from my personal experience with talking to them and my professional experience, I've learned that this app is a lot more aggressive sexually on a hypersexual level. Sometimes there aren't even any greetings. There's just, the greeting is the picture of nudity, whatever that may be. And that gets the party started, I guess, so to speak, or to get, are you looking, dialogue going to see where you are. And this can be very, very damaging because all of these apps, this one in particular, gives location, and you're meeting all of these different people in this close vicinity and having these meaningless relationships or encounters, because they're not relationships. I've learned from a lot of the people I've talked to that these apps, this one in particular, you have to be very safe and make sure that your safety is key. This app has been known to have a couple of people that have had some unfortunate incidents, same as Tinder too, both of them. I always encourage safety on these apps and being very safe, taking all the necessary precautions so that you're not hurting yourself or rather putting yourself in harm's way. And I've heard a lot of unfortunate stories from Grindr where people have been hurt and robbed, and all types of unfortunate things have happened. But you have someone come over your house you have meaningless sex with, and then you go off and then you look on the app again. And I've heard from certain friends that they have people that come over and they'll be right on the app, right on their phone, while they're with them at their house. And I'm like, wow, this is what it's come to. You come over to someone's house, and I haven't heard this story about Tinder, but I've heard this story about Grindr, and I was like, wow, that's really the audacity, to come over to someone's house that you've met through the app, and then get on the app and look for someone else, or be looking for other people while you're there. Like, I've heard some really, really crazy stories that I can't even possibly share on here, but that is one that has really, really, that's up there. Another thing is this app has made a lot of people also commit suicide because of their low self-esteem, their low self-worth, their low self-respect for themselves. The best way for you to get better is to just get off of those apps, get away from that culture, get into your life, get into your things, do what you like to do, productivity is key. Once you start getting into what you like to do, your interests, your likes, your loves, you'll be happy with yourself and invest in that, and then grow from there and learn. But if you keep down this road, you'll be stressed, anxiety, depressed, possibly feeling like you have body dysmorphia, your body's not good enough, possibly putting yourself in danger, possibly putting yourself in a mental state where you're arguing and going back with someone and it's just toxic energy going back and forth and you're just spewing hatred. And the best thing to do is just remove yourself. You can only control yourself. So you have to control yourself and move yourself out of the equation. My 3 tips are, number 1, definitely be safe, keep safety. Meet these people if you're going to participate in hookup culture and these dating apps, particularly Tinder and Grindr. Make sure that you're meeting the person in a public place. Take your time meeting the person. FaceTime if you need to. Have multiple talks and chats. My second tip would be to get involved in yourself and what you like to do, your interests, your likes, your wants, your loves, the people that support you, your circle. Get around them to get your mind off of it. And my third and best tip, I would say, was just delete the app. Delete the apps, period. You don't need the apps. You don't need to be talking to a blank face or a blank profile, with no name, no description, no anything. And a lot of these apps give one-word messages back and forth, so you're not even having a conversation with someone. You don't deserve that. That's the third tip, is just detox from it completely. If you can cold turkey, delete the app and do your best to not download it again. There are other tips I would recommend you to look into, and I would go online. I put a description down in the box, so if you guys are looking to look for other resources, other ways of getting help, if you have kind of addiction, which hasn't been truly proven it's an addiction, so to speak, but some people may think it's an addiction. I think it's more of a disorder in a sense. But that's another thing. I'll do social media topics on another level, because this also needs a deep dive, and it goes beyond just hookup apps and dating apps. It goes into social media in general. So be on the lookout for that video as well. Media, how it's affecting us and how it's been affecting us over time, how it's intensified its influence. And my closing thoughts are, I guess my takeaways for this would be, don't forego yourself and your authenticity. Be who you really are. Don't get on these apps if you're feeling depressed or lonely and you're feeling like you need external validation. Look inward. Try to get around people who enjoy being around you, will lift you up, will cheer you up. A positive circle is always the best thing to get around. And then try to just focus on really meeting people in public places and going on dates that way, and trying to have conversations and interactions the way people used to before social media came about. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I really am glad that I'm able to come up and talk about these things that are really interesting to me, and I hope interesting to you. And these things are affecting society, all of the generations, of course the younger ones, but all of the generations are being affected by this. And I think it's good to talk about it and open up this discussion and have this dialogue so we can get to know what people are thinking. With that said, like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. And until then, see you in the next video. Take care and be well.